All right, let's see. And there we are. Howdy, folks.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
So today I have Marilyn from Coffee Cults and Crafts on, and I have Clearwater Chad from Clearwater Chad. So they've been gracious enough to join me for my second one of these, and we've been bumbling. So we're a little bit late. I've been kind of bumbling through because I've never had guests before. So this is a first for me. But we had a whoops, I'm having an issue. There we go. We had a really good day yesterday. Got some great news. What do y'all think about all that?
Yeah, I'm always happy when justice is served, and
Yeah.
you know, I hope he, you know, comes to the realization he did something very, very terrible, and he's going to have to pay for it. And I'm just happy for the vindication for the Jane Does.
Yeah.
They've been through
Yeah,
hell.
Yes, they have.
yeah. He
And
said, yeah, he said his day in court. The
mhm,
jury found him guilty, and he'll have a lot of years to think about what happened.
yes, he definitely will. And I hate to be glad about somebody's
Yeah,
misfortune, but I'm hoping he heals. I'm hoping um that he comes to terms with what he has done and realizes that what a horrible thing that was and what a terrible thing to do to another person.
yeah,
So I don't wish any ill on him. I don't want anything bad to happen to him,
I agree.
but at the same time he needs to atone for what he did,
Hmm.
you know.
Yep.
But anyway, so that was big news
Absolutely.
yesterday. Um and today, I mean, I haven't done a whole lot. As I was telling Chad earlier, I've spent my morning on the phone with the bank. My husband woke me up to the bad news that I used to play World of Warcraft, and I canceled my subscription in May, and they're still taking it out. So I have been on the
Oh,
phone with the bank, stopping that and disputing charges and all of that
oh
stuff.
boy.
So it's been
Ah.
a eventful morning. But anyway, so Marilyn, you'd made the steak marsala. How did that go?
Oh my god, it was so good. It was amazing. So Duncan's favorite things are meat and potatoes, of course.
Right,
And
right.
I've made steak au pois before, with
Hmm.
about the same kind of thing, but and I've had chicken masala, but this was the combination just was so awesome. So I would definitely recommend that recipe to everyone, steak
I
marsala.
saw your fire picture. That was great.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I gotta tell you,
Nice.
Duncan was standing right there. I actually had him light it because did you see that wampin pan I used?
Yes.
I used my
Yes.
cast iron pan. It weighs so much, and
Hmm.
my arm was like dying. So I was like, okay, I'll lift it with both hands, and you light it. So yeah,
So you
it
got
was
to
a
participate.
yes,
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I
yeah.
had that was why I used one of my lighter pans that when I made that is because I base on my cast irons. I love my cast irons. My cast irons are like 160 years old. They were my great grandmother's.
Wow. Oh my
So
god.
yeah, so I mean they're getting handed down in family. But anyway, so I used one of my lighter pans because I knew I was gonna have to lift that thing up and light it and the whole nine yards. So yeah, so I went for a lighter pan, but normally I would have used the cast iron on that. So
Gotcha. Yeah, it
so
was
you enjoyed it and it was easy, relatively easy?
Y yeah, it was. I mean, your video was what, about 5 minutes, and, I kept just
Yeah,
stopping
3,
it.
yeah.
I just played it and stopped it. Well,
Uh-huh.
first I went to the end and got the ingredients and
See?
went to the store and
Uh-huh.
yeah. So,
Well,
yeah, it was very easy.
on the description, there's a link into so you can download a PDF file and print that recipe.
Yeah, I was doing it from my phone at the grocery store,
Ah,
so for
gotcha.
some reason it wouldn't work. I don't know why.
Yeah, phones tend to argue with that. But yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, so I'm glad that worked out really well and he really liked it.
Oh my goodness, yeah, he loved it. He was
Good.
just yeah, he was just thrilled. I
Good.
was joking with Steve. I was like, "Sorry, Steve-O, I can't do Xeno Nation with you tonight because usually I help him out in the background
Mhm.
in StreamYard." And I was like, as Reese would say, that phone was probably going to be ringing because I'm making a nice dinner. He just came home. He just came home. So sorry, Steve-O.
Priorities.
That's
Yeah,
right.
sorry, Steve-O, priorities.
We know the
I'll
way.
sleep with you, but that's about it, right?
Right, Monday nights. Yeah, you're Monday night
Monday
now.
Yeah. So,
But you
Chad.
know the way to a man's
Oh
heart,
God,
right?
no kidding. Through their stomach, right, Chad?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Absolutely, you're right. I know you did it, Cindy.
So, have you tried any of the recipes? Because I know that you said scrambled eggs, right? You did the
Yeah,
scrambled egg one.
I've been watching your videos. They're very good, but I haven't tried any yet. I'm
Haven't
a
tried it.
snacking cooking.
Well, when's Chaz coming? Hello, Choctaw.
I'll have them this weekend.
Oh, they're coming in.
I'm
Awesome.
kind of stuck in my old rut of just cooking the few meals I know how to do, but I definitely will try a lot.
You know that that rice one, the egg vegetable fried rice video that I have. It's actually really easy, and you can make that vegetarian if you just leave the eggs out. Hello,
okay.
Selena. So yeah, so that's a real easy way for you to do something like that. And there's a couple recipes that I've added that I have not added to your series yet. And they're both recent. One was the Musco chicken parmesan. I mean, we're talking leftovers here.
So good.
It's the use of leftovers. It's literally leftover spaghetti sauce, store-bought chicken fillet patties, breaded patties, and put the spaghetti in the pan in a baking dish. You put the sauce on top of it, or the chicken on top of it. Put the sauce on top of that, and then cheese it and put it in your oven. That's it.
Okay.
And it's a very simple recipe, and it's really good. And then the other one was the brown butter chicken with ravioli. Yeah, that one's really easy.
And those have that has a wow factor too. The brown butter ravioli, put a little parsley on it. Yeah.
So if you have a date over one night, that's a good one for you.
There you go, Chad.
Yeah, definitely. You're a very good editor on the videos. I'm really impressed.
Oh, thank you. Actually, I got a very, very good compliment from Mitch Brisker the other day. Nice. He and I have been kind of emailing back and forth, and he sent me, asked me to send him a picture of how I set up, because he wanted to know how I put it over my stove. Well, I don't. I actually cook on a little New Wave induction burner on the island of my kitchen, because I don't have room by my stove, for all the paraphernalia. And so he asked me to send him a picture of my setup, and I did. And basically he said, send me a picture of your setup because I want to see how you do it, because you nailed it. And I'm thinking, this is from a director and a producer here in Hollywood,
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
So I was
see.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that, and very flattered. So if Mitch comes back through the rewatch and hears me say that, thank you, Mitch. I appreciate the compliment. That was awesome. But yeah, I do a lot of my work in editing. I bring it in. I do, blow it up, and so that you're not really seeing me. You're seeing what I'm doing, and because that's what I find more important. I don't need to be the star of the show. What I'm doing is the star of the show. So that was excellent. Yeah, Selena, I was very surprised at that compliment from Mitch. I was very surprised and very appreciative. So, but anyway, so I do a lot of trying to get it in tight, and I have a short tripod, and then I have a tall tripod, and I kind of, depending on what I'm doing, if I'm doing the close prep work where I'm doing the cutting and the mincing and all that goes on the short one, because I can bring it in tight, and then I move up to the taller one because I can pull it out and you can kind of see what's going on in the pan.
Nice. Love it.
So what is your favorite thing to eat, Chad? You're gonna have to tell me.
If I had to get
pizza?
the plain, I guess I know what it is. The plain spaghetti with the fried breadcrumbs on top.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Just regular spaghetti? It's like a casserole, or is it just literally spaghetti and breadcrumbs?
Yeah, just a thin spaghetti and breadcrumbs fried on top.
Cool. I've never done breadcrumbs. I've done lots of Parmesan. And Marilyn, what is your favorite thing to eat?
Oh God. Well, I don't know if it's my favorite thing, but I eat a lot of chicken, so I
Uh-uh.
like to be really creative with it. So I like to just mix up, different flavor profiles. I love
Right.
to make. I love Asian food. I like to make
Yeah.
it. So I like fried. I like myself a fried rice. I love to make little chicken satays with the peanut sauce and
Oh yeah.
sesame and things like that.
Oh yeah. Lots
Yeah,
of fun. So you do a
yeah.
lot of stir fries?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't do as many. My husband's Italian, Sicilian Italian. So, I mean, as you notice, a lot of the stuff, the recipes that I have on the channel are Italian based. They're either Italian or Tex-Mex. I mean, that's kind of
Nice.
although I've done a few other ones. The marsala is Italian French. So, but with him, he has to have his weekly pasta fix. So we have to do that. But anyway, so I have yeah, I'm trying to. I did a French dip sandwich. Veggie fried rice. Yeah, I did the veggie fried rice on the
I saw
yeah,
that. Yeah, I gotta try that
and
recipe.
it's really easy. It actually really is. And that's one I did in my heavy. I have it's almost a wok. It's not really a wok, but it's a cast iron one. And so I did that one in that. So it worked out really well. But Michelle, I hear you.
That's
You know,
funny. Whenever I see one of Cindy's videos drop, even the advertisement for it, I get hungry.
You know,
You know what I mean?
well, I mean, then it's working.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm trying to give every personality a dish at least. So,
I love
Marilyn, you
it.
got the steak marsala,
It's
and
perfect.
yeah, and Denver got the what am I thinking of? Russian stroganoff. Anyway, and Juliana got the taco. I mean, obviously, she's in Brazil, right? So Chad has this whole series, and I needed to know what actually was one that I could move that way, that was actually for him. I did make a French dip sandwich. I'm waiting for it to drop it for Aaron to actually get back from California and rested. But I did a French dip in the Instant Pot. And oh
Ooh.
my God, it was good. So it's got an au jus. It's done all of that stuff. Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Yeah, you got people coming in.
Wow.
You've got they're all
That's
coming
cool.
in. And if anyone is on my channel, feel free to either open a separate tab or go right over to @Sinful Good and watch from Cynica's channel. And we'll get her some watch hours and some subs. Everybody,
think
please subscribe.
I think I have a banner that's a ticker. If you find that, and if you want to add one for you and Chad, that would be great.
Okay, subscribe to Sinfully Good. There we go.
So, I did try to get some of those things done, but I ran out of time. So,
You're good.
But anyway,
Fine.
so what is Chaz's favorite thing to eat?
Oh, let me think for a quick second. He's pretty easy. He'll eat either the chicken nuggets or pizza. Those are his probably top.
Look at Kim.
Yeah,
I need
I
chicken
saw that.
nuggets. I popped
Chicken
it up.
nugget mashed up so it's soft.
Nice.
So I need to make Kim D. Hine a protein drink that's ground up chicken nuggets. Got it.
I love it. Oh, that is so funny.
So what did you say Chaz's favorite was?
Either chicken nuggets or I'd say pizza. Pizza's probably
Pizza.
even
There is, I'll have to make it one of these days for you, Chad, but I make it's actually gluten-free keto. It's a keto pizza crust. How it started out was a noodle for lasagna, for a low-carb lasagna. And then I realized, I looked at it and said, this would make an awesome pizza crust. So I'll have to make that and do a video on that for you, Chad. So you can do something along those lines.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you, Claire.
I'm
Mhm.
just Sin, I'm just popping things up. You don't have
Yeah,
to,
that's fine.
even pay attention. I just wanted to, kind of get the greetings out and stuff, but you can stop
Yeah.
and say hi, or you don't have to.
Oh yeah.
Just-
It and I'm interested in some of the things like you saw Cece threw down a gauntlet to me to do a oh man, and she hasn't reached out yet to tell me what it is, how she wants to do it.
like an Iron
So-
Chef kind of thing, or what? What does she want to do?
I was thinking maybe closer to Chopped. We have somebody come up with 4 ingredients that both of us
Nice.
have to make a recipe out of.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, although I have figured out now how to get the camera to not have to be hooked into the computer, it's not wired now. I can do it through
Mhm.
Bluetooth. The mic is another issue to move into the camera or to in the kitchen. So once
Right.
I figure that out, then I'll be able to do some lives and actually cooking in the kitchen.
Live cooking, right?
Yeah, but
That'd be so cool.
this is a learning process, and so having never done this before, you learn something different or new every day. Oh, gee, that makes that easier, and we'll do this.
Right.
I do it in my editing as well. I've got in my editing, I literally for my videos, I have 2 templates. I have a shorts template, and I have a long form template. And basically they're set up to a certain time, and so I have to fit my video within 3 minutes on a long form. So and so it can be shorter, but it can't be longer. I figured that 3 minutes is about the attention span of most people, especially with kids running around in the background and God knows what. So that's why I do that. But so do y'all have any questions of me? Anything you come across?
Couple of things. Claire the Taylor question: does the butter chicken have tomatoes in it?
It does not. You can put them in there, but it does not.
Well,
Okay.
So
Selena Kaimauer. I'm having dinner right now. It's miso soup, vegan sushi, and pumpkin.
katsu curry with rice. Awesome. That sounds really good. Now that's something that genre of food is not something I have a whole lot of experience with. I'm basically Southern, Italian, and then Tex-Mex. That's my area for expertise. But I just love the more Far Eastern foods.
Yeah, that's kind of my alley. Rock it out with Kim D. High. I like fresh mozzarella balls dipped in raspberry flavored dark chocolate.
oh wow.
What? That sounds so good.
That does
never
sound
had
good.
those.
Yeah, that sounds good. But wow, that's really good. They used to make a spread. It was a Hershey spread. I heard so many people talking about this Nutella. I think it's with Reese and Aaron.
Yes.
They talk about the hazelnut stuff. They used to make, and I don't know if they do anymore. It was a Hershey spread, and literally it was just the chocolate. It didn't have the hazelnut, and it tastes like putting a Hershey bar on a strawberry.
Wow.
It was really good, and I have not been able to find it for quite a while. So I don't think it did as well against Nutella. Nutella was pretty set in that genre at that time. So, hey, Denver.
Denver, yeah, he's lurking. Aaron said, "Good morning, my adopted mother. Wait too soon. Sorry, I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Maybe he's talking to me because I'm old.
Could be. Well, yeah, but you're not as old as I am. Don't let this hair fool you guys.
I love it, Ginger. Yeah, there's lots of gingers in SPTV. I heard.
Yeah, well, my hair used to be this color, and then I got old. So,
do you want to? We didn't get to work this out ahead of time because we were trying to go live after doing.
Yeah.
Do you want to go and I'll start some things, and then you can
Sure.
you can pick what you want out of the start. So if you go over to the start, I got one there. and then I'll just keep starting them for you. How's that?
Okay. So I hit the show. Okay. So Jason Nordwall. I hope I do not butcher your names. Used to watch cooking show on PBS years ago. It was a British show called Two Fat Ladies. They were a riot. I missed that
yeah.
one. I used to watch a lot of Julia Childs. I used to watch
Me too.
I watched a lot of her. She's an interesting person, and just a little bit of wine for your sauce, a
know,
little bit of wine for me. It was
I love how
fun to
she
watch her.
said beef bourguignon. It was like boof bourguignon, like that.
Beef bourguignon.
Or she'd call it boof, like boof bourguignon.
Yeah. Yeah, she had some funny ways to go.
Just love
So,
her.
but yeah, I missed that one, but
Oh.
that's cool. Yeah, Chad probably had to go get
Oh,
his
he had to
son.
go get his
Probably,
son, right?
yeah,
Okay,
that's probably
no
what's
problem.
going on. Made some
Gotcha.
rice dressing, like boudin. Marcus, I
Ooh.
know you're a Nola. So, there goes my picture. Hang on, my phone is being a little bit goofy. Sometimes I have to do this, so we'll just hardwire in. But anyway, give me a minute.
No problem. Hey, everybody. I'm starring some stuff that I'm trying to get caught up here. So, how's everybody doing? Second of it. Oh, and just okay. Clearwater chat. Oh, I can add him back in. Do you want me to add you in?
Thanks.
Okay,
Yeah,
there you are. All right, let me know.
I thought I would be able to look at the comments, but I guess not on my phone.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
I'm just
My
starring
mistake.
stuff for Cindy when she comes back in.
Oh, okay. No problem. I got about 10 more minutes. Just waiting for Chad to get out of school.
All right, nice. Let's see.
Very nice.
Yeah, we're waiting for our expert to come back in.
Yeah, it's a good show so far.
Nice. And just looking at the
Okay. Hey, Marcus.
comments. Yeah.
Yeah,
hey,
like I
Mark.
said, I can't really see anything on my end, which is fine.
Oh, Marcus, I emailed you back. I got to see if I got an email back from you. I have to keep looking in my spam folder. I don't know why everything's going in there lately. Crazy. Oh, here we go. We got lots of these comments.
Excellent.
Yeah, there's a lot of foodies in here. I'm a foodie, that's for sure.
Very good.
Yeah. Rice dressing sounds interesting.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Marcus, to give us the recipe. So, yeah, for people that just came in, Sin has been dedicating some recipes to different people. And what was yours, Chad, that she did for you? What was your recipe?
I don't think she did. Well,
Just a
she
bunch
did a
of
whole
them?
series. She did a whole series for me. The 1 minute.
Wow.
The 1 minute, because I told her, I was just trying to give her some tips. I said, well, for example, since I have my 9-year-old son, when he's hungry, and when I go to YouTube to look up a recipe to learn how to cook something, because I don't know how to cook that much stuff, I go for the shortest video. So I said, if you make your video short, you might get some single followers or whoever needs to quick, so she did that. 1 minute videos on, easier stuff to cook.
Yeah, and I think she did beef stroganoff for, was it beef stroganoff? For Steve-O. And then
Okay.
I told her that Duncan likes meat and potatoes, but I like to kind of put flourish on things. I like things with a lot of different ingredients and just something fun. So she gave me a beef marsala, which I've made chicken marsala, and I've made steak. Well, she called it steak marsala. I've made steak au pois a bunch of times where you rub it with the pepper and you use the cognac and everything, light it on
Oh,
fire. So she knows I like to light booze on fire. So we made that
oh,
last
that's
night.
excellent. Man.
It was
Nice.
so good. So good.
Yeah, I wish I got to try, one of hers, but I don't, I shouldn't admit this, but I just cook the same couple things. But I will definitely, get out of my comfort zone and try some of the recipes.
Joel McCoy wants to know, is Chad on the run?
Pretty much picking up Chaz in a few minutes here.
Are you on the lamp?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can put Seneca's
There you go.
channel in here again. Okay, so on my stream, if everyone can hop over to Seneca's channel, it's at Sinful Good, and like and subscribe, and you can even watch from her channel and her chat, and or open another tab. But we would all love for you to support her because she's amazing.
And yep. Oh, sorry to cut you off, Marilyn.
Okay.
Cindy's usually on the pre-show on my channel, Clearwater Chad. Mondays 5:00 Clearwater time. She's usually on the pre-show giving excellent cooking tips.
Yes, she knows a lot. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So she's having a little technical difficulties, so everybody stand by.
It's all good. How's everyone doing today? Sorry, I can't see the comments, guys.
You can't see the comments?
No, on my phone though, and I tried to go where it's.
Oh, you're on your
yeah.
phone. That's
Yeah.
right. Well, obviously you're on your phone.
Yeah, it's all good. I usually I'm used to looking at the comments.
Everyone get over there.
Yep. Chad agrees with Steve-O.
No, we got to get her a moderator too.
Yeah.
She's gonna reboot.
Okay.
So we'll stand by, and let's see if we can go through. I don't want to say too much without her.
Right.
Yeah, is Chad getting pulled over? I hear some.
I know. Sorry, guys.
Pulled over.
That'd be cool. That'd be pretty funny if I was. I'm not driving, guys. I'm just in the car parked. Chad's getting out of school in about 5 minutes.
All righty. I'll just put some comments up.
Yeah.
Rock it out with Kim D. High. I can cook for an army. Cooking for just me is hard to do. Yeah, I don't make a big deal. Like when Duncan was away, I think I mostly technically snacked the whole time. But then I made a big dinner when he got home last night. But yeah, I cook for an army. It's been hard to get used to. Well, Duncan does like himself some leftovers, so that's not too bad. But when my boys moved out, my daughter's been out of the house for years, but my boys moved out last summer, and yeah, I just still was used to cooking for 4 instead of 2.
Yep, that's an adjustment. And for anyone that, I know it's hard to believe, but usually when I cook, I usually forget to grease the pan and end up having to soak it for 3 days and scrub it for 2 days.
Oh yeah, I get it. I am. Yeah, they're coming to take me away. They're coming to take you away, Chad.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh wow, it's funny. Someone that looks like a cop car kind of pulled me just now.
We have a suspicious person.
Yeah. They do that, because I'm in the middle of a school. If I come here too early, they will come up to the car and make sure I am a parent.
All right, Steve-O, I'm here. Yeah, she must be over at Sin's channel. Nice. Thanks, guys.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, Seneca's awesome.
Absolutely. Sorry, that's our stupid radar detector. I should have turned that off.
That's okay. Getting all kinds of exciting stuff going on.
It's packed over here. The kids are almost ready to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you have to go, it's okay. I'll just hold down the fort till
I'll wait until he comes out. He comes running out in about 2 minutes.
Okay. So while we're waiting for Sin to come back, we'll do some comments. Our friend Joel McCoy says, we have been fostering a feral cat that was rescued a week ago. My wife is great at socializing ferals. We call him Aussie. Oh, he was wild a week ago. Now he's a lap cat. Oh, that's amazing. Who says ferals never calm down?
That is
Right.
amazing. That's
That's
great. I love Joel.
wonderful. That's wonderful.
And like Joel always says, well, not always, but he said, taking a cat that's older too, guys. You know what I mean? You don't have to,
Yeah.
help them out,
Yeah.
or a dog, helps them
Right.
out.
Right. Oh, this is a good question for me and you. Choctaw Nation Princess, how did you and Chad get moderators?
Oh, for me, it was just natural. People just offered, and I'll take anyone up on it. Anyone wants to help, it was just natural. How about you, Marilyn?
I won't take anyone. I mean, I won't take just anyone. you
Oh.
are the most you are the most like inclusive, sweet person. I'm a little more picky. I'm sorry, I'm a little more picky. But the only reason is because sometimes you don't want to have to like unadd a moderator. But for me, it was just getting to know people in the chat because like Chad, you same way. Like you and I were both kind of started in the chat. We didn't have channels or anything. So I
Absolutely.
I got to know people. I got to know their style. If they didn't have to be moderated themselves. So I mean, you've done a good job of having moderators, but I'm just saying like I do kind of vet them a little bit because I don't just take anybody that asks, and you don't need a ton of them. I mean, Goldie does a bunch of channels completely by herself. So, and she's great. I can't multitask like that.
Me neither. No way. I won't even try.
You just get to know people, by how their style is. If someone clicks with you, Prince, I call you Princess. Princess, if you have a channel or you're starting a channel, I'd be happy to give you some tips. But yeah, I mean, everybody has their different style. I think I mean, I'm pretty laid back for the most part. There's a couple things like I don't really like politics being. I just don't feel like it's the place for it, things like that. But Penny has been it. She's been a great find, and she actually reached out to me, so I was super fortunate to
and
have Terry. We have Terry, Penny, Apostate Alex helps at night because he's got his days and nights mixed up like me sometimes. But yeah, I've got some great moderators. So
you had a good point, Marilyn, about how you said we both came out of the chats at first. I think that's why you and me maybe clicked, because we came out of the chats and then we both had small channels. We worked our channels up naturally together, doing joint ventures and stuff singly. And because we're just like you said, we're just people that just started out in the chat like everyone else, and we kind of both like to help everyone out. So
absolutely,
anyone that wants to start a new channel, we're growing the network is great.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
we've all gotten to kind of know each other, and I'm just texting Seneca back.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
But no, I just wanted to make sure I said that to anyone wants their help with anything, we're just an email or
totally.
Facebook message.
Absolutely. Yeah, Chad helped me out, and
you help me out too. I mean, it's
we help each other. Oh yeah, Kim. Chad just gave me a wrench. LOL, I'm learning to mod too. Nice. Yeah, see? There's rocking out with Kim D. Hi. I'd give her if I needed another moderator, I'd give her a wrench in a second. Yep.
Well, a lot of times it's my brother doing it too, but he is full, which is fine. Yeah. He's same as me,
Is that your cue?
It's getting wild over here. I don't know who that is, but any minute.
Oh, it's not yours.
No, he'll just jump in the car.
Goldie is a goddess among mere mortals. She is,
True.
and she's always willing to give input and give any tips and help out with the mods. She will shares the link. She spends a lot of time prepping for the streams too. And there's different levels. You know, she said she doesn't expect everyone to be ready with a link or to greet every single person, you know, but that's her style, and we all love her for it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right, it down. All right, she's still
Yeah, no worries.
trying to get back in. She's doing a full reset. So
We could plug our thing tomorrow, right, Marilyn? The Mark Turi.
that's right. Yes. The nerd. Oh, what is it? The Nerdy Bunch, we call it, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. There's several different names. I thought you were going to go with. Yeah, no, that was the one. Yep.
Yeah. So on Saturday, we're the Nerdy Bunch, and the Nerdy Never Ends. Although we're not all Never Ends. We got Mark Turi, who is like started out as a guest, and now he's become like the main host in a way. He's doing last week he did a whole PowerPoint presentation on Star Trek, the Deep Space Nine. And then this week he's doing the origins of religious studies, which I'm really fascinated with. Oh,
sorry.
Can you mute that at all, or no?
Yeah, if it does again,
I can't hear you talk, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I shut it off and forget to put it back on, I might get a ticket. Am I right? It's my radar detector.
Oh, you little shit, you. You little shit, you got shit on your thing. Okay, I won't say it too many times. This is Seneca's channel. I don't want her to.
Yeah.
Denver Steve-O, I don't believe in moderators except Marilyn when she doesn't blow me up for the bone phone. Well, I'm sorry, dude, but Seneca gave me this amazing recipe. My husband was out of town for a few days. You know, he loves himself some meat and potatoes. We were lighting things on fire, and I missed Xenu Nation. I'm sorry. But you know what, though? We were actually watching Star Trek, the original series, so that's why we missed it. We really were. We really were, but the phone might have rang after. I'll never tell.
Chad was on. I don't know what his problem was. I'm just kidding.
Aaron, Marilyn, you said your husband skis. Does he do backcountry skiing too? He does sometimes, but he loves downhill skiing. He was an instructor back in the day, and he always goes downhill skiing. He's got snowshoes and cross country skiing and all that, which I used to do. I used to do some of it with him. I do cross country skiing, but I like my limbs, so I've never learned downhill ski. It wasn't my thing. And
can't blame you there.
You can ask Reese on that one, Marcus. Actually, ask Steve-O. He'll be happy to tell you. Clearwater Claire the Taylor. Okay, so she's trying something else, poor Sin, but
okay.
We're giving her some watch time, which is wonderful.
I told her before the stream, it takes a couple shots to really get it, you know. My first live or two, like the first 10 seconds, I forgot to add myself on the stream, so it's just black air, you know. So it takes a few times to get it right.
Yeah, it does. No, she's doing great.
Yeah.
It was a delight to have you on there. Have you there,
Thank
Chad?
you. I try to make all of them, but sometimes I fall asleep. I'm getting old.
Oh, he's trying to rub it in. Chad was there.
Oh, I didn't get it.
I'm only kidding. No, he's not. No, he means it. He means it from the bottom of his heart, I'm sure.
Well, Steve-O's funny. He doesn't, you know, he's one of these, you know, like you don't know if he's joking and stuff, you know, which makes it even funnier.
I know, it's true. Or sometimes I'll ask him, like, hey, Steve-O, you want to, and they'll just sit there, not say anything. And then he'll be like, no. Yeah, I'll do it.
Sounds like Steve-O.
Oh boy, I tell you. Oh wait, is she coming back? Here she comes.
All right,
Miss America.
Oh my goodness.
There she is.
I literally
it.
had to reboot the computer, reboot the internet connection. It was sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. It's fine.
Okay, it happens. It's real life. Yep.
So, did you get your son picked up, Chad?
He'll be coming out any second.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, so I got some start things.
Okay, yeah, let me head
We've
over
just
there.
been chit-chatting about all kinds of stuff, but we saved the food talk for you.
Alrighty.
Smell.
A little bit. Come on in and say hi, then we'll go. We're on live, Chaz.
Hey, Chaz.
Say hi,
Hey,
Chaz.
Chad. Nice to see you, honey.
Or at
Says,
least-
oh, Dad's on the internet again.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right.
Of course.
All right. It was fun, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks
Chad.
for having me on.
Not a problem.
All right. See you, Marilyn. See everyone.
So, Marcus, I missed it. My internet decided to burp on us. You made a rice dressing. Is it like a boudin or what?
Let's see. Made rice dressing, and then I'll look for. He said, here it is. Recipe: pork, liver, and rice. Also, like
Oh,
a
wow.
stuffing.
So yeah, it definitely is stuffing. Well, boudin's kind of it's a rice with liver and pork and other. I'm not a strong Cajun cook, so Marcus is going to be a whole lot better at that. But yeah, it's put in a casing, so it's like a sausage.
Really?
Yeah. So awesome.
Oh, he's eating it now.
Oh,
That sounds
jealous.
good. I know. I'm gonna be so hungry after this.
Larry Lawton's prison. You know, I went and looked at his site. He is really funny. And the stuff that he was doing, I'm like going, really? That's interesting. I mean, he was taking Fritos and ramen noodles and pork rinds and summer sausage and peppers and tomatoes and stuff and sticking them in the bag that the pork rinds came in and sticking them in the microwave. No, I think that's not. He actually added water to that one, but anyway, put water in it and then wrapped it in a towel and let it sit there.
Oh wow,
however
that's
long,
wild.
and made tamales. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. But what he was saying is this is what they used to do in prison. They would make these different recipes using things out of the prison commissary, or that they could get from the commissary, or that they can get, like the group of them would do a pizza, and it started out with Doritos on the bottom, and they'd say, hey Joe, go get a tomato, hey Mark, go get a onion, and all of this stuff, and they would make this prison pizza out of it and in the microwave. It looked like nachos to me, but hey.
Right, yeah.
But they called it prison pizza, so they'd all get together and do that. And I found it. Yeah, made you hungry. I found it
hangry.
hangry. I found a list of the California prison system commissary. What they can get in the commissary, and I'm sitting here thinking, right.
You
Do
see
one
what
day,
they can
yeah,
put
one
together?
day a week, and put something together with what they can get in the commissary without using
funny.
a stove or an oven or anything like that, because they have like a microwave and they have the hot water from the shower and that type of stuff. So, and do a feature of dinner with Danny Masterson. Yeah.
I love it. And you know what I noticed is that as I'm scrolling through channels, anybody that mentions Danny Masterson gets tons of views.
Oh wow. Put Danny Masterson in your title and your
yeah. Cooking with Simply Good and Danny Masterson.
Yeah. So Kim D. High, you make a butternut squash soup. Oh, you like butternut squash? My husband will not eat anything that is squash. If it's got squash in it, he's like, I'm done. And so I did, because I'm trying to do a little bit lower carb, although some squash, butternut is not one of them, but some squash are lower in carbs than say potatoes and stuff like that. And so for Thanksgiving, or was it Thanksgiving last year? Yeah, Thanksgiving last year, I did, and I didn't tell him. I chunked up butternut squash and put some regular chunked up sweet potatoes in with it and made a sweet potato
Ah,
casserole. He didn't know the difference.
right. Yeah.
You know?
Makes sense.
So it ended up really good. You'll see some of it, like I said, my my family knows that Thanksgiving's coming the end of this month, end of September or mid October. So because I need to get those videos made for the channel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so Thanksgiving dinner will be prime rib, which is what our normal Christmas dinner is. So we'll have the Christmas stuff going on you know, at Thanksgiving. People are gonna look at us weird, but hey.
Right.
So do you guys remember I do remember the Galloping
Yeah.
Gourmet.
Yep.
Cooking Sherry, yes. Yeah, and it was everywhere by the time it was all over. I bet his food was good though.
Yeah.
A little bit of alcohol in your food is not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love it.
Stephanie sees, I'm thinking of making pierogies and Polish sausage for dinner. That sounds really good. I have
Yum.
yet to try to make a pierogi. I've looked at them, but I have yet to try to make them. It's like I have not made a gnocchi. I have made fresh pasta. I have made homemade
Me too. I
fettuccine,
love. Yeah.
but I have not done a gnocchi or a pierogi. So yeah, that sounds really good, Stephanie. You'll have to send pictures to the to Sinful Good, and I'll post them up there just
Yeah.
because. Yeah, and guys, really and truly, one of the things I tell people, a couple of things I tell people, and I'll tell you this, Marilyn, just because, is that if you have a recipe that, when I make a recipe, I go through and I look at a whole bunch of different recipes and pull out what I like and leave out what I don't like or change or whatever. But if you make a major change in a recipe, a full flavor change, like a lot of the times I'll get recipes that don't have wine. Well, I cook with wine and sherries and alcohols all the time. So that's my addition. Once you do that, that recipe's yours. You've made a change. It's a totally different recipe.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is, so you can own it. And so you could take what I have given you as a base and add to it. Well, I don't know that I want to put thyme in this, but maybe rosemary. And maybe instead of using a white wine, I'll use a sherry, in it. And that now has become your recipe. It's no longer mine. I don't know it. Own it. You do. And but the key to it is write down what you did.
Absolutely.
Because,
Yeah.
because if you don't and you try, oh, that was so good, and how did I make that? And you'll never make it the same way again.
Totally. I know.
So.
I do that a lot, and then I end up tasting things over and over and over to
Oh,
try
yeah.
to say, did it taste like this last time? Because I do
Well,
the pinch of this and the pinch of that thing.
Yeah, and that's been the hardest part for me, is because I eyeball everything. I rarely measure things, so now I'm having to actually literally stop and measure so I can write the recipe, so that y'all can replicate what I've done. And even then, it might not taste exactly what I had, but you don't know what I had. And if it tastes good to you, then hey, we're set, right? So that sounds really cool, though, Stephanie. So when Mamma Mia came out, I was learning Mediterranean foods and made my own. Oh, nice. I cannot say this word. Dolmadres.
Tomates.
Dolmades.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. I'd have to actually look that up because I'm not entirely sure what's in that. So that's one of the things that I do as well, is that somebody will toss something at me, like Steve Britton tossed the ginger chicken, and I'm now in the great ginger chicken search.
Ooh, that sounds so
yeah.
good.
So yeah,
Sure.
always add ketchup. Yeah. I rarely add ketchup to stuff, but then I like a lot of sauces. But yeah, ketchup sometimes fixes everything. And the funny thing is that some people may not know this, but what do you do if you put too much salt in something? They always say that you can put stuff in, but you can't take it out. Well, that's not entirely true. because if you put too much salt in something, then you've made something, or you made a soup. Soup's usually one of
Yeah.
those ones that gets really salty. You've made a soup, and oh my God, it's super salty. What do I do to fix this? You throw a potato in it, is what you do, and the potato
Absorb
soaks
it.
all that salt up.
Mhm.
So and it evens it out. It's like if something's too spicy, what do? Add sour cream. You know.
Yeah. Cool it
So
off. Right. Right.
exactly. So
Mhm.
those are kind of things that you do. But yeah, good old ketchup. So okay, well now you've done it. I'm making enchiladas straight. I have a really good chicken enchilada recipe on the
Oh,
channel.
check it out. Check it
Yeah,
out.
check it out.
Nice.
It's really easy. It's an instant pot recipe, as I recall. I think that I did the chicken in the instant pot. I may not have. I have to double check it. But so you're eating the. I see that, Marcus. You said that you were eating the that now.
Mhm.
Hi, now Mac. How do I say this? Mac.
I just call her Mac, or she likes to be called. Her name's Sophia. She always.
Sophia. Okay,
Yes. Let's
I
call her
can
Sophia.
do Sophia now. I won't guarantee that I will remember it next time, and I will probably sit there and go, you know. But yes, I'll try to remember Sophia. I seem to eat big portions then if I cook for myself for one meal. The trick to that, honest to goodness, is you can cook larger meals and then get yourself some meal planning. Basically, is what it is. It's the little dishes that have a top, and
Mhm.
the plastic ones, you put the top on it and stick it in your freezer, because you may not want to cook one day, and you can go in there and just pull that out and reheat it. So that keeps you from overeating on the portions, but
Right.
gives you something you can,
Mhm.
you're still able to cook the regular, measurements and that type of stuff, and it gives you something in your freezer. And you may even get enough in there. I've made, meals for a week and a half, and so now I have all this leftovers. Well, okay, now I don't have to cook for the next week, week and a half, 2 weeks, because I've just reheat it,
Right.
so
Absolutely.
that's a good way to handle, the portions. Thank you, Joel. I missed that. I started. Joel said my hair looked good. Thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll be real honest. This is not real. I'll be nice and be honest about it. I have very, very thin hair, and I got tired of being bald, so I said I'm going to wigs. Forget it. So
Nice.
yes, I do appreciate that, Choctaw Nation Princess. I'm sorry about all that happened. My internet apparently,
It
um,
happens.
it decided it was going to go on vacation, and I cussed it. I didn't kicked it around, and it came back finally.
You just hit it. Yeah.
Said a few choice words, and threatened to cook it, type thing. So anyway, the Masterson casserole there, Denver.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy, that Larry, and I've actually I've starred him, so so I can go back and look at some of the things he did. But like I said, pulling up that list of things that you can purchase at the commissary at the prison, will
Mhm.
give, and it's very limited. I mean, it's really limited, and which you would expect. And so trying to figure, I mean, that would be the ultimate chop challenge. I'll tell you that right now. Me and
Yeah.
Cece pick up 4 things from there.
So we needed some kind of alliteration or some kind of play on words, like masterclass, because you talk about masterclass in cooking and stuff. It's like way up there, but
Yeah.
Masterson, yeah, masterclass and Masterson prison food or something, like, because it's so funny because we
Prison
got
food
prison food.
masterclass.
Yeah, prison food's way down here and masterclass is way up there. I think it's really
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. Well, I thought dinner with what's his name? Masterson.
Danny?
Dinner with
Dinner
Danny.
with
Thank
Danny?
you. I'm like,
That's great. I love it.
that internet thing just totally threw me. I was like, really? It's
You're good.
kind of,
No, you're good.
but so dinner
We all
with
understand.
Danny.
You don't have to read this out loud if you don't want to, but I gotta put this one up.
You know, there was a chopped episode. Speaking of asshole casserole, there was a chopped episode where
Oh
they
my-
used one of the ingredients was pig anus, and they had to make something with that in there. I mean, it was literally the south end of a north facing pig. So
that you
that's
win. Who said that, Selena? You win the internet today, honey. I'm just saying, you win the internet. I love it.
prison rock soup. You know, there's a joke that goes behind that. I'm sure Choctaw Nation is referencing that. There's a joke about a hobo who says, "You see this rock? It makes a really good soup." And so they're like, "Oh, cool. Well, show us." And so he drops a rock in a pot and brings it to a boil. And he says, "Some carrots would be really good in this." And the guy goes, "Oh, I know where we can get some carrots." And they go off and get carrots. And it builds on that. And in the end, it's a full-fledged stew. But they call it rock soup. So, that, I'm sure that's the joke that Choctaw Nation's referencing here.
So if you put in like all vegetables that like carrots, butternut squash, and sweet potatoes. See where I'm going with the orange?
Right.
Prison orange stew.
Prison orange. So it'd be butternut. It would be probably acorn squash could go in there. Sweet potatoes. What would we do with an orange meat? Eggs. I'd have egg drop soup would kind of fit into that. It's not quite orange; it's yellow, but So yeah, there's some things to play with in that. Just doing a Masterson, dinner with Danny.
Dinner with Danny. Oh my God.
Type thing. So that would be kind of fun, actually, to be quite honest.
Can you please do a dinner with Danny? You've got to do one, at least
do
one
that
video.
series and do that series. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
That would be awesome.
I'm making what we call Arkansas steak, bread with beef gravy, taters, and veggie, cheap and very easy and fast. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times that my daughter, one of her favorite sandwiches is a ketchup sandwich, and literally it's a piece of bread with ketchup. So, but there were times where things were tight for them, and they would do those things. I mean, your staples when things are tight, macaroni and cheese and tuna fish, and cream of mushroom soup, make a tuna casserole, that kind of thing. I mean, it's like with Claire Bear, Claire Headley has made a statement. It's been quite a while, but she said that she refuses to eat tuna casserole because she apparently had it so much in the Sea Org and absolutely hated it. And so I have threatened to make a Claire Bear tuna casserole with basically it's a lobster mac and cheese. So it's not really tuna, and it's not but I'm trying to get with her and see if she will allow me to use her name on it, because I don't want to just assume. It's just like the Aaron, the French dip sandwich. I'm trying to get with him and see, are you willing to let me use this as the name of this recipe?
Nice. I'm sure. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that he will do so. Potatoes are great. Yes, potatoes are a staple. Most guys really like meat and potatoes, as Marilyn has said. Duncan's the same way. Mine's meat, potatoes, and pasta. That's his thing. But yeah, potatoes are awesome. I make they're not out yet. As we get a little bit cooler now in Texas, it's cooler is relative. As y'all in the up north and northeast get cooler, I will bring out the soups.
I love me some soup. I love soup.
Oh, I make a mean fully loaded potato soup.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really good. And I have a French onion soup that I do. Of course I do chili. No beans in Texas. You're not allowed to have beans in your chili. Now, if you guys want to put beans in your chili, that's fine. But a true Texas chili does not have beans. So, anyway, so I don't put beans in my chili. But I have that. I have a broccoli cheese that I do. There's a whole set of soups that I do, beef stews, that type of thing. So yeah, so I do a really good potato soup, and it will be coming up more as we get to as we get closer to fall. I mean, it's still kind of warm for soup right now. All right, I had to make my own ketchup. You can add that one to most dishes, at least with bell peppers too. Yeah. I make, because ketchup has a lot of sugar in it, and being a type 2 diabetic, I tend to try to cut down on the sugars in things like condiments and a lot of the stuff. I don't do full keto. What I do is I do low carb. And so full
Right.
keto is 20 net grams carbs or less. That's your limit, and I limit myself to 50. So that's low carb. So that allows me to have the rice and the pastas, and that's as long it's all about moderation. So that's kind of now, just so you guys know, if I one of these days in the community, and I'd have to look for it on the computer, or I would toss it up here, but about a year and a half ago, we're talking November, not this past, but the one before, I was almost 300 pounds. And I am now, I have broken the 200-pound barrier. I am under 200
Wow, that's
pounds
awesome.
now. So in a year and a half, and I can really see it in my face. My face is really, much thinner. And that was what I was saying, is that if I had the picture available to me quickly, I would show you guys how round and that type of stuff.
That's
So
great.
yeah. So but one of the things that I do, because ketchup has a lot of sugar in it, a lot of high fructose corn syrup, is I make my own using tomato paste and a little bit of garlic powder and Worcestershire sauce, basically. And so I make that, and it's actually really quite good. So anyway, I like it.
Nice.
So Michelle, since the pandemic, I feel like I've cooked dinner a million times, always looking for new ideas. Yeah, you know, I worked at a grocery store. That's my background, and yeah. Prior to that, I was a veterinary assistant. I spent 8 years as a veterinary assistant in an emergency clinic in San Antonio, Texas. And I met my husband online before Match.com and all those things.
Wow.
Yeah. He and
Nice.
we were in an AOL chat room, the two of us. I had just read the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and they had a chat room for that, and I was in that chat room, and he was there, and his wife had taken off on him, and he was distraught, and we basically made friends. We talked quite a bit,
Mhm.
and I finally told him, I said, look, I said, if she's not wanting to talk to you, she's not being available. I said, if she's done that once, she'll do it again. Do you really want to go through this again? And my goodness, I got a bug. One of the kids let a fly in. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, and so he thought about it. He goes, no, not really. And so we became closer friends. And eventually he drove to San Antonio to meet. And that was the beginning of we will have been married. Let's see, this is 2023. In December, we will be 25 years. We married in 99. So we're at 24 now. So that's how
Nice.
we started. But anyway, we started out that way, and now with the pandemic, I could not work. We discovered that for some reason, and I don't know why, if you put a mask, I have a panic attack. And I actually spent quite a bit of money on one of those runner's masks that have the fan in it.
Oh,
But they're
wow.
like, yeah, I got two of them, and they're like cell phones. You plug them in, and they charge. But you know how cell phones are. It's like every time you plug it in, it charges less and less. Well,
Mhm.
those did that too. And I was
Mhm.
at work one day, and both of them ran out. And the big bosses were at the store, and I literally melted down. And so I went on a short-term leave that ended up being a long-term leave, and then my back started acting up, which had been acting up somewhat, but had really started acting up, and I just can't go back. So because I have to get up and I have to walk and I have to move and I can lay down, I can't do anything for long periods of time. So so that's kind of, so I understand cook dinner a million times, and one of the things, like I said, when I get in, somebody gives me an idea, like Marilyn could say, I don't know, some dish, and I could look at her and go, I don't know how to make that yet, but I will find out. And then I will go and, like Denver Stevo, I will give you an example. Denver Stevo's beef stroganoff. I literally went and looked up different beef stroganoffs, and authentic from Russia and all of that stuff. And that's what that one's based on, is an authentic Russian beef stroganoff. But one of the things they didn't add any alcohol, which I do. Like I said, I do that. And one of the things I've thought about doing is throwing some vodka in. I mean, we're talking Russia, right?
Right. Why not? That's great.
So
Love
I mean, that's probably the next rendition of it,
Yeah.
is probably some
vodka cream sauce. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's kind of how I do that. So I understand you, Michelle, and I'm hoping that I'm giving you some ideas that you can work with. All right. Joel, my wife made the chicken parm recipe you put up. It was good. She liked how the leftover chicken parm one, the Musco chicken parm. Yeah, that was, excuse me. Woo, sneezing.
Well, that's you.
Anyway, that was a night that I didn't want to cook, and I knew I needed to do a video. And I was like, I really am not in the mood. I'm not in the mood for this. And so what can I do? And I looked around in my freezer. I had some frozen chicken patties, and I had some leftover spaghetti, and went, there we go. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Great.
So that's where that one came from. I'm glad she liked it. I'm glad you both liked it. I grew up in a family that put ketchup on everything. Potatoes, eggs, mac and cheese. I can hardly look at the stuff these days. I still put ketchup on scrambled eggs if they're dry. I like my scrambled eggs soft scramble. So I will put ketchup on that. But yeah, I get you. I've seen people put ketchup on the weirdest stuff. I look at it and go, really? But yeah. Dumplings a la Danny.
Danny's
Is that,
dumplings.
do you want me black and white dumplings, striped dumplings?
Yeah, some kind of, yeah. Something with black and white. Yeah, striped. Yeah.
The stripes, right? Okay, multitasking. Subscribe to send. Thank you so much, Marcus. I will go terrorize on your Cajun recipe. You are going to have to come and work with me on Cajun. I will tell you, I have not done a whole lot of Cajun. I've done a little bit, but I have not done, and I certainly have not done ones that are authentic, which I know is what you do. So yeah, you'll have to come over here and teach me a little bit. So yeah, extra arms and fingers from Amazon. Well, I'm glad I made you hungry enough to eat, sweetheart.
That's great.
All right. So yeah, Selena. Yeah, I love a good potato too. I'm not one that tends to put sour cream. I like my potatoes. My favorite way to do a potato is tons of butter and salt, and we're done.
Yeah. I like that. That's what I had that's what I made with the steak marsala, was like, instead of, I was thinking of doing roast potatoes. It was so hot. It was like 90 degrees here in Vermont yesterday, which is not too normal, especially for September. And then I'm like, you know what? I think I just make a baked potato in the microwave, but put tons of butter on it. Yeah. It was good.
Oh, it's funny. My husband, I'll go through a stick of butter in my potatoes if you don't stop me. It's like, that's enough, Cindy. Move on. My mom makes a great potato soup. Potato soups are really, really good. I did a corn chowder last year that was actually really, really good. Based off of a clam chowder, but it's corn instead of
Mhm.
having to use the
I make
seafood, and
that
it
too.
was really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was really,
I
really
love it.
good.
Yeah, I love soup. I mean, we're
Oh
in New
yeah,
England. We eat a lot of New England clam chowder.
yeah.
How is the clam chowder down there? Is it cream based or it's not like
Uh,
Manhattan tomatoes? I don't like the Manhattan tomato based
it's
clam
not
chowder.
really. It's probably more cream based when people think about it, but
Mhm.
most of what is down here is shrimp. Instead of clam chowder, it's a lot of shrimp, a lot of and a lot of Cajun based. I mean, like Marcus, a lot of Cajun based with all the andouille and the Cajun seasonings and that type of
Mhm.
stuff. So yeah, so but yeah, definitely. Hi, Duncan. Thanks for joining us. Um, oh,
Hey y'all.
awesome! You really enjoyed your dinner last night. Yeah, that's
You
great. I'm
did.
glad to hear that. I am so glad to hear that.
He loved it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you for that.
Not a problem. Anything I can do. This fall, I will probably do a stovetop steak, a stovetop ribeye, which you do in you the butter thing with you put the garlic and the thyme and the
Mhm.
rosemary in the butter, and then you actually spoon it over and then you finish it in the oven. Yeah, I'll do one of those, and that's a little bit more advanced, but it's not as hard as it sounds. It's just you got to get that temp right.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
I've made rhubarb ketchup, mango ketchup, curry ketchup so far. Use a
That's
little
good.
bit of honey, and that's enough sweetness for my taste. I can see that. I made the avocado salsa that you see on the channel. I make a version of that is a mango salsa,
Mhm.
a
I made that
grilled
too.
grilled pineapple salsa, and then a strawberry one. So with instead of using cilantro, I use mint in that one. So I mean that's
Mhm.
I've got those. So those are really good. But yeah, I can see all of that stuff. In fact, I've had mango ketchup. I've never had the curry ketchup. It's funny. I'm one of those that I love spice, but it does not love me.
Mm.
So
That sucks.
so I have to be very careful. And then my son, the youngest, he has really bad gastric reflux. And
Oh.
so yeah, so I really have to keep spice down at home, which really is kind of a bummer because some of the Cajun foods I would just love, like a good gumbo with a lot of spice. Oh, there's nothing better. And I love Marcus, if you're listening, I love a good etouffee. Absolutely love a good etouffee. So, all right, let's see. Growing up, we used Western salad dressing in case. Western, or is it like the Russian or the French salad dressing? That one that's kind of tangy and tomato, very tomatoey. I make, and this will also come out when I do soups. I'll do salads as well. Um, it. I make a lemon honey truffle salad dressing. So yeah,
Ooh. That sounds
it's
good.
really good, and you put it on an arugula salad with some shaved parmesan. It's just perfect.
Mhm.
It's really,
Yeah, it's
really
definitely making me hungry.
good.
That's great.
All right. Duncan
He does.
loves a good chowder.
I gotta tell you, every once in a while, you know what he does? He'll go to the
Mhm.
store. He's already got a huge stash of stuff in. He's got like bomb shelters and like what does they call that? Preppers, like tribulation,
Yeah, yeah.
end time preppers. He's got
Right.
all these stashes, and he always stocks up on four things: chickpeas, corn, because he loves himself some shepherd's pie, which is really
Mhm.
it's really
Mhm.
like cottage pie, you know.
Cottage pie, yeah.
Yeah, and like jars of the clam juice
Mhm.
and canned clams. And every once in a while, like he'll threaten to make it himself because he's like, I really need some. And then he'll make sure he buys celery and cream and all that. So about once a month, I have to make New
Yeah,
England clam
clam
chowder.
chowder.
Have to. Yep.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, y'all are up in that area where, it's gonna get cold soon, sooner than it will down here. I
Mhm.
mean, literally down here, it's just like, holy cow, Um,
Mhm.
but it'll be. We really here in Texas don't get quote unquote cold. Hello, Stephen. Were your ears burning? I was just talking about you. Anyway, um, quote unquote cold here is, we come out of our short sleeves and shirts and flip flops at about 60 degrees. So um
Mhm.
up there, y'all are still probably running around in that, at the 60-degree mark. Y'all are still in summer clothes, but at the same
'Cause we're
time,
used to it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
at the same time, y'all are in heavy coats and all that by Christmas, and we're still
Oh,
running around
totally.
in, yeah.
Totally.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm.
allergies are acting up. Anyway, so yeah, it's different, but I'll do some salads and some soups and that and some stews. Get that stuff. Like I said, the Thanksgiving thing's going to come up here shortly. So your cheeseburgers.
I know. I had to start because it's like,
Did I go to cooking school? No. The cooking school that I went to was my grandmother. She actually went to cooking classes when she was younger. But my grandmother basically took me aside when I made the comment about I didn't want to um, be like my mother, who got teased about not being able to cook. Um, and made that known. My grandmother kind of took me aside and said, "Okay, let's teach you how to cook." And so she did. And my dad's family is full of very, very good cook. Unfortunately, we lost him this past year, but my cousin, who is the one, I'm the oldest, and he was one underneath me. He was actually one of borderline celebrity chef. He was a private chef for big name people. He did some amazing things. And so both of us, in fact, I was looking forward to seeing him last October, just before he passed, just to kind of realize that the two oldest kids in the family in this generation were both cooks. So, but I used to never comment. And this is kind of funny. I refused to call myself a chef for a while because I didn't go to culinary school.
Mhm.
And my boss, who at the store, who is he is a culinary classically trained chef and has worked for like the country clubs in Palm Springs and Southern California, and has cooked for movie stars and presidents. He cooked for Obama, that type of stuff. And he pulled me aside. He says, "No," he said, just generally, not everything, but most of what a chef knows. You are a chef." And we argued back and
Yeah.
forth about it. And he finally talked me into accepting that fact.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Yes. Mhm.
which was again kind of fun. But, up till then, I called myself a grandma cook. That was all I did. So I thought about going to culinary school. Um, it did cross my mind, but I never did go. I ended up, in fact, I didn't go to college because I truly despised school. I'm literally 2 classes away from a degree in advertising art.
Mhm.
I
Nice.
spent time. I went into pre-vet to be a veterinarian, and then my daughter at 16 got pregnant and had a disabled child, and so I had to quit school and take care of that child while she finished school. So I mean, those kinds of things happens, and life happens. I mean, it just does. But I do have a love for cooking, and working at the grocery store, I suddenly realized that I like to help people learn how to cook and to make changes and things that they might like better, and do
Mm.
that instruction. And I had been missing that since I was no longer working at the grocery store. And that's what this channel does, is it allows me to
Nice.
tap into that enjoyment that I had, um, teaching people to cook on the stage at the grocery store. Well, now I do it on the stage in YouTube. So that's how it came about.
Absolutely. And
So
you know so much. I mean, you were talking about Julia Child earlier, and
Yeah.
I learned so much from just reading her cookbooks, watching her,
Mhm.
and the French terms, the mise en place,
Mise en place,
and
yes.
my daughter, I got her first chef's knife when she was 9,
Mhm.
and I taught her because we used to watch Rachel Ray. She loved Rachel Ray.
Right.
She actually got to talk to Rachel Ray on the phone
Oh,
once
nice.
on a radio station. We have a old cassette tape from she was
Mhm.
5, and oh my
Awesome.
god, she treasures it. But I taught her how to cut and make sure I always said eagle claws so her
Eagle Lodge, yeah,
knuckles. Yeah, yeah,
pulled the
yeah.
knuckles over.
And she can tell you even to this day she never forgot how to make
Mhm.
a roux, and then
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
add the cream, it's a bechamel, and then you add the
Right.
cheese, and it's a Mornay.
Right,
So
right, right.
yeah, so
The interesting thing is, and this is what people a lot of times don't realize, that when you're talking about a roux or you're talking about a gravy base, you can do this with
Mhm.
your Thanksgiving turkey gravy. Anytime you're making a gravy, not a sauce, but a gravy, they're definitely different.
Yeah,
But
you
you,
gotta tell Duncan the difference because I get so mad when he's like, "Pass me the gravy." I'm like, "It's not a gravy, it's a sauce."
yeah, usually sauces are reductions.
Mhm,
Not always, but they're usually a reduction. They're a reduction of wine. They're a reduction of
mhm,
the flavors and the chicken broth or whatever. Okay.
mhm.
Sometimes if you could throw like the sauces that from Asian food have a lot of cornstarch in them, and so that it's a different thing. But most of your gravies start out as a roux, or it
Mhm,
has a flour base. Um, Binder that makes that thickener that makes it thick.
mhm.
So when you're talking about making a roux, always guys, remember that your roux is equal
Equal
parts
parts
fat
fat
and
and
flour.
flour, yeah.
Yes.
And what's it, butter and flour, but you can use fat,
Butter,
any
fat,
fat,
and flour.
yeah.
Right.
Yep,
Fat
equal
and flour. So
parts.
butter is a fat as a fat.
Mhm,
So so equal parts. So if you put 2 tablespoons of butter in there, you have to put 2
yeah,
tablespoons of flour and no more.
mhm,
Okay. And the other trick to a roux is you want to cook it down until it gets amber and you can smell it. It has almost an almond smell.
mhm.
So if you get close to it and you smell it and you smell kind of almondy, you're wanting to cook that flour down, because the last thing you want to do is taste flour in your gravy.
Flour, right.
So you're cooking that flour down. That's why that roux works. Now the difference, and Marcus again can tell you this, you have a light roux and then you have a dark roux. Don't burn the flour, exactly. Um, you have a light roux, but except for Stephen, when you're doing a dark roux, it's just this side of burnt, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, and a lot of times I'll do I like a light roux for the clam
Mhm,
chowder, and I'll just wait
mhm.
till it starts to bubble, so that
Yeah.
kinda will take, especially when you're using butter,
Hmm.
it'll start to bubble, and then it'll get just a little tan, and then I
Hmm.
put in
Hmm.
everything else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The interesting thing is, have you ever done clarified butter? Have you ever actually
Yes.
done Oh,
Yeah.
that's a tedious.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
the
it
other
is.
thing is, the other thing is trying to do a hollandaise from scratch. That is.
Oh my god. I'm terrible at curdles, but my son Austin, he's,
Mhm,
22 now. He
mhm.
can make he's, like, kind of obsessed, but he's a musician and an artist too,
Right,
but
right.
he can make the most amazing, hollandaise, and once in a while, he'll come up and make us some eggs benedict.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm terrible
you
at it.
The interesting thing about, and I think this is why hollandaise has, because you have to do it really slow at a particular temperature and
Mhm,
keep it moving. It is very different. But part of what the problem I think is that we run into is that when you add an acid like lemon juice, which is part of hollandaise, to a fat or a fat based
mhm,
liquid like the cream or the butter, it
mhm.
breaks. It'll break your sauce. So a
Yep.
lot of times you'll see me, like, when I haven't got them up yet because I missed a piece of the video. Apparently, I forgot to turn the camera on when I made the salmon cakes. But on the salmon cakes, um, I do talk about one of the sauces. Actually, no, I think it was the I have it up. It's the salmon cream with some cream sauce. Is I tell you, put the lemon on the fish, not in the sauce, because
Right,
most people, because they don't know how to get the correct temperature and get it to where it will not break.
right.
The minute they add the lemon juice, the sauce breaks, and then we're like, oh gosh, now what?
Mhm.
So that's why you see that happening. So a lot of times that's why you'll have a sauce that breaks. when you're adding an acid to a cream. So
Yeah, acid's a tricky thing because
yeah.
we have, we use a lot of beans in the house and
Mhm.
stuff because I do try to cut down on carbs myself. So
Right.
sometimes I'll just make like, black bean soup or something, which I love to
Mhm.
do. But Duncan loves to make chili and he puts beans, he puts everything in his chili. And one time he decided we had all these dried beans and
Mhm.
he put them in, but he put the tomatoes in
Right.
before the beans were soft, and I was like, it's game over.
Oops.
It
Oh
just there was
no.
no coming back from it. So
Yeah.
it sat in the fridge for like a week and we threw it away. I'm sorry, honey, we got to start over with this.
Actually, when I do the pintos, I actually put the Rotel. I use Rotel, which is the chilies, green chilies, and tomatoes.
Mhm.
I do the overnight soak, and then I put them in the crock pot and throw the Rotel and everything in that, and just let it all cook the same way. And it does just fine. It's just
Oh,
you
really?
have to, you have to be, it can't be that it's going to be quick. It's got to take it a little while. So that's why
Mhm.
either that or it's in the Instant Pot. If you put it in the Instant Pot and do it in there, it'll still work that way too,
Yep.
because it's under pressure. So
Yep.
anyway, so yeah, poor Duncan. You tried. You had the right idea, sweetheart.
Yeah, he tried. Poor thing.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Duncan. That is so sweet of you. Well,
Yeah, he was
hopefully,
really happy.
hopefully she'll find some recipes that she wants to try in there as I go through, because
I will.
and
I've
Marilyn,
seen some already.
yeah, Marilyn, I'll send you. I have a whole set of low carb. I mean, like I'm my daughter, my daughter's type 1 diabetic, and she was complaining that she couldn't find low carb recipes to make for her, and she was just going on. Nothing she liked, nothing she liked, nothing she liked. And so I looked at her and said, well, let me work on it. And for last Christmas, and so now I have Christmas gifts for the next God knows how many years. Last Christmas, I put together a cookbook for her that had a lot of the stuff that I made, or that I made when she was a kid, that she liked,
Mhm.
that I had reworked for low carb. And so I'll make some of that available to you just in general,
Nice.
so that
Yeah,
you'll have some low carb stuff.
I was gonna ask you when we were talking about squash and different
Mhm.
vegetables, and you were talking about the low carb. I was gonna ask you, like, do you have any? Do you ever use like riced cauliflower and stuff? Because like I'll make Duncan. He loves stuffed peppers, and I've done this several times for him, and he didn't even notice. Instead of the
Yeah.
rice, I used the cauliflower, but
Mhm.
the flavor from the meat and the tomatoes and the spices and everything, and the texture, he didn't notice. So
I'm
now I
one of
do that pretty
those,
much all the
yeah.
time.
I'm one of those who like, if you put lemon in my tea, all I taste is lemon. I don't taste the tea. If
Yeah.
so I find flavors that I'm just not a fan of. Now, I love cauliflower raw, but the minute you cook
Mhm.
it, it's just what makes cauliflower so good raw is
Right.
too much cooked. It's just
Yeah.
concentrated.
It gets cabbagey. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ugh. And so I'm not a huge fan of it. Now, I do a macaroni and cheese. It's a scratch mac and cheese that is cauliflower. You're using cauliflower instead of the pasta.
I've done that. Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
what I do with it is I make the base, and then I go and I put it on a sheet pan
Mhm.
and get it cool, somewhat cool. Then I cut discs, little round discs, and then I
Huh.
I get it really cold, almost frozen, and then I go and I fry it,
Ooh,
in oil. It's a fritter. It's basically what it is. It's a mac and cheese
that
fritter.
sounds good. Do you have a
Um,
video for that?
haven't done it yet this year, so it will come. But
Yay.
I haven't really concentrated on the low carb stuff, which was what my initial thought of that was. When if I made a channel, I was going to do, it's going to be a comparison of take the stuff that you make before you want to do low carb, and then make it low carb. And
Mhm.
my kids, you'll see them kind of one around here, and my husband and so forth. Basically, what I would do is I'd serve it to them and not tell them. And if they said thumbs up, then it was a keeper. If they went, oh, that was, what was that? then I needed more work on it. So that was the initial thought I was going to do, but I haven't done that yet with this because of how we pulled it together so quickly. So, that's kind of what happened there.
Nice.
Jen, hello. How are you? Happy Friday.
Hi, Jen. Good to see you, honey. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm back. You lost Pat. Well, hey, number 5 in letter A. Now your name is Marilyn. You've told me what her name was.
Penny.
Penny.
Yeah, her other handle. She has 2 handles, but Penny 5A is her other handle.
Penny.
So
Oh,
with like a
yeah.
penny. Yeah, with like a
yeah. So Penny,
coin.
don't feel bad. My internet decided to burp and fart and carry on, and so we had a little issue there. But welcome back.
Mhm.
All right. Had a hard time sticking to your new recipe when I cook. The only ones I stick to are the old family recipes. Why would you want to stick to the recipe? That's my question.
Right.
It's like
You don't
it's
have to.
like I never stick to a recipe. It's rare that I stick to a recipe. That's the beauty of cooking is that now difference between cooking and baking. Baking is very precise. You can't play with baking recipes very much. You might be able to change some flavors, but the base recipe, the flour, the baking powder, that type of stuff, you don't want to mess with it because it's very precise. And if you tweak it just a little bit off, it won't work. But when you're talking about cooking recipes, things like the steak marsala, those types of things, why stick to a recipe? If you think something's going to taste good, try it. If it doesn't, make sure you wrote down what you did. What did you do different, so that you can go back and say, okay, well, this didn't work, but maybe this will, or maybe I need to shift it. That's literally how I cook. I'm sure Marilyn does the same thing,
Oh, totally.
Yeah. It's so don't think you have to stick to a recipe. It's a creative process. It's an art. So be creative and try things, and if it works, share it. Because we'd all like to know that.
Absolutely. And if you know intuitively that, like, you're not going to like something with a teaspoon of nutmeg in it, which
Yeah.
I had to tell my hubby, if you're doubling or tripling a recipe, go easy on the spices, man. You don't want to put
Nutmeg is raw.
nutmeg, thyme, sage. I can't. To me, a pinch will do.
Yeah.
Because I can taste that, a mile away. So
nutmeg,
yeah,
there's a lot of flavor in nutmeg.
Wrong, yeah.
And I actually have the little nuts, and so I actually microflame
I do
them,
too.
so
Yes. Oh,
and so that makes it even more intense. Yeah.
Makes you think of Christmas. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
me some rum with eggnog and a little bit of shaved nutmeg. I love that. Once a year I do that.
I'm gonna do a nutmeg ice cream. Come close to Christmas time, so yeah, that'll be fun.
Good.
So a little bit of rum in it. So yeah, as you see, I cook with a lot of alcohol, so that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Love cooking and baking and the creativity it allows. It is, yes, that's exactly what I was saying, Jen. Was that it's an art form, and there's nothing saying you have to stick to a recipe. If there's so many of these recipes that you'll see me do that have red wine or white wine, or like the one of them that I did, the mojo tacos, that had tequila in it. That was part of the marinade. And the base recipe that those are based off of do not have any of that. That's one of my additions. So like I said, so when you're doing a recipe and you make a change and you make a strong flavor change, that recipe no longer belongs to the original author. It belongs to you. You just have to remember how you did it. And that's why I say bring a notebook in. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is my notebook, my recipe notebook. And you'll see, I don't know if you can see it. You'll see all the notes. Well, I'm kind of blurry. But all of those notes, well, it's not gonna do that for me. But all of these notes, what about my face? Maybe that's me writing down as I'm cooking. Okay. So even as you're seeing me do those videos, some of that is trial. Okay. Some of that is a shift that I have made at that time. In that video, you're actually in the process of watching me create a new recipe
Nice.
during that video, because I've said, well, I really don't think that this would be good in that, but I know it would be. So let me try this. A really good example was the crab salad, the imitation crab salad. Imitation crab, I mean, tastes something like crab, but it's not great. But
Yeah.
the problem is it's not sweet. So if you look at the dressing that's made in that, I add powdered sugar to it. That's not something that was in any of the recipes that I looked up. But that powdered sugar gave it a little bit of sweetness. And the other thing is give it at least a day, maybe 2, to sit in the refrigerator, and it just really comes out. So, yeah. So yes, it is. It's an art form. I enjoy it. That's one of the reasons I really do like it. All right. Let's see. Food talk. I'm eating a nut burger, fries, and salad right now. So made out of nuts. I'm a Texas girl. We knew, where's the beef? But I don't know that I could do a vegan or vegetarian lifestyle. I like my meat too much. I'm a carnivore. But yeah, a lot of people can do that, and some of those are really good. I have come across a few that are good, not as good as my beef, but they're good. But cool. That's good to know, Tatiana.
I have made nut burgers before, but I'm partial to I like chickpea, like I like falafel, which is basically like a bean burger in a way. Because
Yeah.
in the Middle East, they eat falafel like we eat, we eat burgers. So I like it.
Yeah. This one's an interesting one, but really and truly, the American, I think in England and overseas in the UK, they don't tend to refrigerate their eggs. That is an American thing. For some reason, they put it in our heads that those kinds of things need to be refrigerated, and so the reality is that they don't need to be refrigerated. You can leave them out. Now once they are refrigerated, you kind of need to keep them in there, but in general. But the key to finding out on fresh, I don't know if you've seen it, is get a glass of water and drop your egg in it, and if it and I have to remember how, because I don't do this very often. So I literally sometimes have to look at it. But I believe that if it lays over on the side, stays down at the bottom, lays, or is it lay over or stand up? But anyway, there's a whole series. What I'll do is I'll do a, not 911, cooking 101 video.
And if it floats, you're really in trouble.
Yeah, if it floats, it's bad. Okay,
very bad.
So that's the key. So drop it in a glass of water, and if it floats, no, we don't want to do that. I hope that helped that. But there is some testing in that, and honest to God, you really don't have to, especially if it's never been in a refrigerator. I wouldn't worry about refrigerating it. It's like people, they go to the grocery store and they pick up, vegetables and that type of stuff. And, you'll have tomatoes. And if you ever notice, tomatoes are not sitting in a refrigerated bin at the grocery store. Right. Peppers, avocados, those types they're not sitting in the refrigerated bin. That's because they shouldn't be refrigerated. If at your grocery store you go and pick up a vegetable or something and it's not refrigerated, don't put it in your refrigerator. Right. If it is refrigerated, then that's the key that says this is something that needs to be refrigerated. Like, the broccoli. Sorry, Steve-O. Broccolis and carrots, two of his least favorite things. But anyway, those types of things, you'll notice that they're refrigerated. So I hope that helps. Like I said, Kim, I will look at doing a set of videos. I have a whole set that are cooking 101. Some of them about knife sharpening and what type of knives to use, and then nice. Temperatures, internal temperatures, and how to store things. I mean, for food safety purposes, there is an order in your refrigerator which things need to be stored. certain things on top of others, and you don't want to put chicken at the top of your fridge and then have it drip down into your casserole down here. So
Mhm.
that kind of things. So those are things that I'm working on. Those are
Nice.
just general knowledge. I don't expect those particular videos to do well. But for those people who don't know those kinds of things, it's pretty important to learn, So, and
Absolutely.
that's what I'm here for. So,
I love it.
so hopefully that answered your question. Oops, I think I just did it again. I hit the wrong button.
I do it all the time. They call me double tap.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Go on the go. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Poe does that all the time. Yeah. Well, you and I will be double tap sisters because I'm probably
That's
the same
right.
way.
Double tap sister.
So I don't have
Love it.
formal recipes unless it's absolutely necessary. Otherwise, it's try and balance it out. As long as you have a general idea of flavors that go together, you're fine. That is how you write recipes. But again, I told you I would forget your name. Mac. We'll call you Mac.
Mac or Sophia.
Yeah, Mac.
Yeah.
Sophia. Sophia, as long as you're doing things, don't wait. As you're doing it, write it down. Okay. I can't emphasize that enough, is write it down, because one, if you don't write it down, you'll never replicate it. If it's something really, really good and you want to replicate that and you don't have it written down as you're doing it, you'll leave something out and it won't be the same. So that's number one. Two, if something doesn't work, that gives you a place to start.
Yeah.
Something to look at and say, okay, well, this didn't work, but so maybe this is not right. Or maybe there's too much of this or too little of this, that type of stuff. So if you don't write it down, you don't have that to go to. And so it's very important. Like I said, I showed you my little notebook here. This literally write down as I go. And then once you get it figured out and it's exactly the way you want it, then you can go and actually write up the recipe and share it with people. That's what I do. That's where, these things that you're seeing on my channel, the recipes, that's literally what's happened there, is that I've gone through and either, like, I made something last night. I kid you not. I made something last night. It was one of those nights where stuff just was not doing. I was in a lot of pain with my back, was what it was. So I had some pork carnitas that I had in the freezer. And interesting enough, in an Instant Pot, you can actually throw frozen meat into the Instant Pot and cook it under pressure, and you'll be fine. So, literally, this was a chunk of frozen meat that I just threw in there. And I said, okay, what am I going to put with that? Well, okay, a little bit of chicken broth. That's always good because you need the liquid in the pot. How about some tomato paste? Just a little bit. We won't do a lot. The Soppin' Sauce, the Texas on the Plate Soppin' Sauce, which is on the Bodacious Chicken. If you've seen that recipe, I have a link to that. It's made by Cookwell and Company. It is at the grocery store that's here in Texas. It's called HEB.
I'm sneezing too. I'm sorry.
Bless you.
Sorry.
But they have a kind of a deal with Cookwell and Company, and so they are the only ones that carry this stuff in the state of Texas. Now, you can go onto Cookwell and Company's website and order it. And I did put the link in the Bodacious Chicken of where to get that. So if you want that, and I call it A1 on steroids. It is amazingly good. So yeah, it's really good.
I get stuck in a rut. Like, I just make the same old things all the time, and it's like because it's faster, and I'm always on YouTube and crocheting and stuff. So
well, yeah, that's the beauty of what I'm doing here, is that it forces me not to do that, because I look at something. Well, I have to have content. I have to video. That means I have to do something different. I can't go back to my usual pork chops on Tuesday and, cottage pie on Friday or whatever, which I was doing for quite a while. We weren't doing. So now it's something different every night. Now I do go back. There will be nights, like I've got about 3 nights ahead. I've videoed 3 nights ahead. So there's a night I can go out to eat. There's, that type of stuff where I'm not having to video something. And each one, like I try to put up content every day. It doesn't always happen, but I try. But anyway, so yeah, it's one of those things where, you don't need as long as you have a good base on cooking and what works and what doesn't, you really don't need a recipe. And my kids, the thing that I made last night, I threw some noodles into it, some chili powder, some garlic powder, and a bunch of cheese, and they're raving over it. I mean, did you write this down? Well, yeah, I videoed it. Of course I wrote it down.
Yeah.
So
it's permanently on the internet.
yeah, it's not up yet. It's coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's coming because I've got to do the editing work. That was last night's dinner. So, like I said, I'm about three days behind what I've actually made the night before. So, oh, I love cauliflower and not had it raw though. Cauliflower raw is actually really good. My great grandmother, or not my my grandmother made a blue cheese dip that, I mean, when I was a kid, that we would dip cauliflower in, and oh my God, it was so good. I'll have to look that recipe. I've got it somewhere. So, but I do have a blue cheese dip that's really good on cauliflower and broccoli and carrots and that type, raw type thing as a dip. Just really good. But cauliflower is really good. They say now, again, the minute you cook it, I'm a little iffy about cauliflower. I'm still trying to do things with it. Trying to find a way to hide that flavor that I'm finding once it's cooked, it's just too intense. I haven't found it yet, but I'm still working on it. But people say cauliflower steaks are really, really good.
I've roasted.
Grilled,
Yeah.
roasted. Yeah,
you just put some oil on it and
yeah.
roast them.
Same thing with Brussels sprouts. If I cook Brussels sprouts in my house, I think my husband would divorce me. He truly hates them. I mean, I can scoot squash by him, but I don't think I can do Brussels sprouts.
Again, I love Brussels sprouts. If you take the outer leaves off, and then I spray them with a little bit of olive oil, put those in the air fryer, and they crisp up like chips.
Yeah.
I love that. And then Duncan loves to do this. Is he'll cut them in half, the middle of it, once you get the outside, make chips out of it, and then cut them in half and steam them a little bit, and then you fry them up with some butter. Yummy.
Yeah. I have a recipe for a bacon jam that is balsamic and bacon and onions, basically, and putting that and roasting, tossing the Brussels sprouts in and then roasting them. It's really good that way.
I love a balsamic reduction. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I've got to dip in a few minutes as well.
Alrighty.
My boys have a gig tonight, so I got to go see my boys play their band.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
awesome.
They're little rock stars. But I just wanted to say I will leave my channel going, and you don't need
actually
you have what I would say the it factor. Like, you could sit here, everybody can ask you questions. You are just delightful. You just keep things going. You keep everybody engaged. You are adorable. Oh, I'm just in love with you. I'm just in love with you. So everyone,
well, Marilyn, you're gonna have to make me get up early on a Sunday or Saturday or whatever morning and come join you on your channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deal.
It's not easy to get me up on early in the morning, but I can be gotten up. And
you'll see me at 1 a.m. You'll see me at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's like,
well, I was woken up at 5 o'clock this morning with the bank issue, so
Oh,
so yeah, it was kind of, my husband said it and I'm like, do what? Wide awake and in 2 seconds. So yeah, but yeah, we're working at an hour 48 now, so we're probably going to wrap it up here pretty quickly.
I'll do these last two.
I'll do these last two and then we'll call it a day. How's that?
Sure. Yeah,
so yes, Kim, baking is a science, most definitely. Again, helps that they are dated 6/13/23 and just did the water test. They're good. Okay, cool. Yeah, the water test is going to be your best bet on that. If they float, throw them out. I wouldn't do it
Definitely.
anyway. So,
Mhm.
and last but not least, Denver's going to end out our show for us today on our comments. Thank you guys for coming. Sin, oh, you wrote it down for me. Well, that's what I do there, Denver. I write it down so that you can just do it. So, Denver, I don't know if you have an Instant Pot for that beef stroganoff. If you don't, it can be done in a crock pot. So, just so you know. So,
There's one more
anyway.
about cauliflower. Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Used to make cauliflower croquettes. Just get the cooked cauliflower and a little patties breading and yeah, cook them in oil. It's like a fritter. It's almost like a fritter. So that's what I do with the
Read it. Okay.
yeah, it because you have to use a binder. And so like Marilyn, if you were going to do, this is how I do the ones for the cauliflower in the mac and cheese, is instead of
Mhm.
using breadcrumbs as a binder, and this is good for you to know for thickening sauces or thickening gravies, as well as making meatballs. Instead of using breadcrumbs, use Parmesan cheese.
Hmm.
It is a great thickener. The mac and cheese, the cheese sauce that I put on the mac and cheese for the low carb with the cauliflower, it has no flour in it. It's not roux based. It is literally cream and milk, seasonings and cheese, and then thickened with Parmesan cheese. And that's what keeps it low carbs, because you don't have the
Yeah.
flour.
Right.
So
Exactly.
there you
Or
go.
breadcrumbs or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all righty. Well, guys, thank you guys for coming. This is yeah. Thank you, Claire. Thank you guys for coming. This is the second one. I'm going to try to do this every week.
Nice.
And Marilyn and Chad, if you're still around, and even Denver. Hello, Denver.
Even
If you guys want to come aboard, I'll send you an invite. And if you guys want to come, great. If not, however, we'll do it like Chad does.
right. Just okay.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
in general. Claire, I'll send you out one too. But anyway, so thank y'all for coming. Y'all please remember to like and subscribe Marilyn's channel at Coffee Colton Crafts. Is that right? Did I
Mhm.
get that right? Okay.
Yep.
Like and subscribe her channel, and of course mine at Sinfully Good at Sinful Good. So I enjoy y'all talking to me. There's a series that I'm going to start here before too much longer. I'm going to call it Challenge Me, and I'm going to take once a month, and I'm going to have somebody give me a challenge, give me a set of ingredients. Can't be too far out, because I'm not going to spend $150
Right.
on halibut steak, but just general what would be in a pantry, and say, give me these ingredients, and say, make a recipe. And it will take me time to actually do it, because I will do a lot of research, a lot of thought process goes into it. But I will post, and I will credit that recipe to whoever is chosen to, their ingredients are chosen. So
Nice.
if you guys want to start doing that's fine, and I'll play with it and see what happens. Other than that, we'll do this again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, as they used to say back in the Batman days.
Nice.
And y'all, thanks for coming.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Good to see you. All righty.